Hey guys, I'm Keen947 aka Wolfkeen. We're back for some more Dark Souls 2. Alright, last time we played Dark Souls 2, we just killed the Dragon Rider Chariot, I believe the boss name was again. And now we are moving on to further in Huntsman's Copse. And yeah, this is pretty much being recorded right after the last video I finished recording, so that's why I haven't had a chance to go check the boss's name again. I don't know, it's just that boss, because it's optional, you know, I've never really had a reason to remember it or anything of the sort. Just die. I never really had a reason for wanting to remember the boss's name. Maybe that's just me. Okay, he's dead. Yeah, another one of those things that'll bring back these skeletons. Dead. And we have an amber herb, which I'm not going to use. And we have a gate that I can't get through with this skeleton blocking it. So I'm going to have to come back here later. Alright, so let's pop a life gem. And we'll go this way to kill you. Die. We're going to go across this bridge. Get bent. Alright, and, oh yeah, I forgot, there was something this way, but first let me kill this guy, because, you know, guys with bows are ridiculously powerful, for some reason or another. Where did... I just saw someone run for it, and he disappeared. I don't know where he went. Anyways, now we go up here. Sorry if I'm not saying a lot, I don't know, like, I don't know, I just woke up and stuff like that as well, so... You know, that's a great idea. Let's record while you just woke up. That will lead to great commentary. Said no YouTuber ever. Ow. Oh, shit. I hit the tree. Come on. You're dead. Poison arrows. Sweet. I can actually use that to my advantage in some arrows. Some more poison. Alright, so let's pop a life gem. I'm not gonna make that. Nope, I didn't make that. Where did this guy go now? Oh, did he die? Invaded by merciless... Alright. Oh! Forgot about that room. Hey, buddy. Oh, yeah, let me say this right now. That shield that NPC invader's using, it's a rare item. Like, sometimes this person will drop it, sometimes they won't. So, really, it's one of those items that's really hard to get because you have only one chance of getting it when you get invaded by this person. Dead. Undead lockaway key. Yeah, I didn't get the item. Oh, well. But I actually got the... Oh, I got a human effigy. Nice. But I actually got that item as someone else. Like, I actually got that item as one of my other characters in Dark Souls 2. Which, I'll probably put a picture somewhere on the screen so this way you could see, you know, like the character that I got it with. Which, the character that I have it with is my spell sword character. I'm basically doing a build where I'm using the blue flame sword as, you know, my main weapon while also being able to cast spells and stuff like that. Used undead lockaway key. So here we go. And now we get to speak to this guy right over here.
Who are you? I thought you were that bastard for a moment. You've set me free. Now I can find him. The cheeky prick. He won't know what hit him.
I wonder who he's talking about.
I am Creighton of Mirror. I travel from land to land to hone my blade. I've heard this land was full of danger. I thought it would suit me perfectly. I joined forces with a man on the way, but he was no more than a backstabbing knave. He took the first chance he had to try and off me. I decided to set a trap for him here. But then I got trapped myself. I can't believe that I was so dense. Thank the stars that you came along.
Yep. So basically, he caught his own self in a trap.
You be careful of him. Pate, I think he said. He wears this rather unusual ring. You'll know it when you see it. I've seen his type before. He kills entirely for the pleasure of it. I'm sure I won't be his last victim. The man's better off dead. I tell ya. He's a slick talker, so don't let him fool ya.
Interesting that he talks about Pate like that. So basically, this is probably the other person that Pate was talking about at one point. Alright, let's talk to him some more.
Pate, the man with a strange ring. Watch out for the slimy rat. And don't you believe a word he says. I'll find the common foot bad and put an end to his roguery.
Alright, so we can learn a gesture from this guy, which is basically the fist pump gesture, which, like, I love this so much, which, let me go ahead and do it real quick for ya. I love that. That's just too much fun to do. Alright, so I'm going to hit the bonfire, but I'm not going to sit down because then I will spawn all the enemies again and I'll have to fight them all over again, and I don't want that. I don't want to have to fight everyone all over again, so I'm going to just basically keep going, and we'll see where it goes from here. Alright, so now I just keep going this way, which... Alright, I'm just adjusting my mic. If you hear some weird noises, that means I'm adjusting my mic, trying to make sure that's at perfect levels, because I'm looking at the levels on my Audacity, and I'm looking at the levels, like, you know, where my mic is, and I'm like, I don't know if that's close enough or if that's far enough, but you know what, that's what editing is for. Alright, so we go through here. Right this way is the Skeleton Lords. This is the way to the Skeleton Lords boss, but first, I want to go this way, because there's one other thing I want to do. Alright, I need a bow and arrow for this. That's why. Oh! Just in the nick of time too. They were about to kill me. What the hell? That skeleton's wearing a crown. I just noticed that. That skeleton seems to be wearing a crown. Why would that skeleton be wearing a crown? That's an interesting thing. I don't know. I don't know if that's a lore thing or something of the like, but that's actually interesting how one of those skeletons is wearing a crown. Oh yeah, combustion. I believe that's a pyromancy, but I'm not doing any of this anymore, pyromancy or anything of the like. You know what? Maybe I should consider at least having the fire pyromancy, like, you know, being able to buff my weapon with fire. That actually wouldn't be a bad idea if you think about it. Go ahead and let me know what you think on that, because I could use flame weapon. Flame weapon would definitely be something I could use, because if there's one thing I learned from everybody is that without buffs, you're not going to last long. Without buffing your weapon, you're not going to last long in this game, which I can understand that fully. Okay, so speaking of buffing, we're going to go dual wielding. We're going to equip this, and we're going to buff my scimitar with it because my my High Knight Sword already has lightning on it, so it doesn't need a buff. Alright, let's kill these Skeleton Lords. Wow, I killed him quick. Ah, crap. Oh, no! They return! The Bone Wheel Skeletons return! Oh my god, I hate bone wheel skeletons. I think every Dark Souls player hates bone wheel skeletons. They are the plague. Nope, 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 nope. I want to kill these bone wheel skeletons first because they are fucking annoying. Oh yeah, here's the thing with this boss fight, guys. It's that each skeleton that you kill is basically a part of the boss. Like, you saw how that you know how I killed that first lord so quickly? He ended up breaking apart into a bunch of other skeletons. Like, his spirit broke apart into, at least I think it's the spirit, broke apart into basically a bunch of smaller skeletons that fight me. As you can see, look, I killed this guy. Now his, like, you know, I guess like a spirit or something like that is basically going out to summon more skeletons to fight me. Which is sort of the idea with this boss. Like, basically, the more, like, when you kill a lord, you have to deal with, you know, some of its underlings that it summons thanks to it being killed. But lucky for me, this boss isn't too tough. As you can see, I'm mowing through him rather quickly. And now he's about to summon some skeletons to basically fight me. And as you can see, the more and more I kill, the more and more life he loses. And that's game. That was way too easy. I guess me dual wielding definitely, me doing this dual wielding build was definitely something that makes it a little overpowered in some areas. But yeah, I killed the skeleton lords. Kind of an interesting room if you think about it. Like, I know I don't normally do this, but this is kind of an interesting room when you think of it. Like, I do like the idea of this room being like this like entire like throne full of skeletons, because like I said, when they die they summon more skeletons, so it's almost like they have home field advantage. They have the home field advantage being able to summon skeletons after they've been killed. So it's definitely an interesting boss room idea. I'll say that. Granted, Nito and other stuff like that have done it better, but it's definitely an interesting boss room that this game decided to go with. That's one thing I'll give Dark Souls 2. At least some of the bosses are interesting enough. Alright, so now we pull down the thing for this. I've got about 6,000 souls, so I'm gonna have to start leveling up pretty soon. And we're gonna make our way over here, which is gonna lead us into the next area of this game, which you'll get to see in a minute. I don't need... Ladders are for chumps. Who needs a ladder for that low of a drop? Like, seriously. Who uses ladders anymore? We're in Harvest Valley now. As you can see, there's someone here, but I want you to take a look at this, guys. Tell me this doesn't look like one interesting looking place. Like, look at all the poison and stuff like that. I definitely like this. Like, it makes the area look old and decrepit. Because look at all the, like, you know, the broken down windmills, the building looking, like, you know, old and destroyed. And even, wow, I just saw her face real close. And look at all the poison that surrounds the area. Basically giving out this area that this area is just filled with death. And I like that idea. Alright, let's talk to this girl. She's holding a skull. Why are you holding a skull? Never mind.
Are you a traveller? I'm Chloanne, an ore-stone trader. I travel about collecting rare stones, which I sell to make my living. I never planned to visit this god's-forsaken place. But I don't know. I just sort of ended up here. I must have just wandered in. But now that I'm here, I've been scouting around for rare bits. Oh, don't look at me like that. Many of these stones are quite useful. For instance, certain stones are used in smithing. Oh, now your ears prick up. I've extras if you can pay. This is my trade, after all.
Yeah, basically, Cloanne basically can sell you, like, you know, crafting materials and stuff like that. But she also sells 2 spells, which are completely worthless. Like this. Basically, it inflicts heavy damage to hollows only. And this stupid spell, which is why there's no more movable bodies, Dead Again. Basically, the idea of Dead Again is that if you use this spell while you're around dead bodies, they will blow up. That's why they got rid of the freaking ragdoll bodies, because then people would just stack up the bodies in one area for invaders and then just use Dead Again and blow them all up. Which, I feel like that's just a cheap excuse, considering that no one is going to use this in any practical terms. Alright, let's just talk to Cloanne again.
I came here in search of rare stones, but the place is nothing like I was told. All this poison, and you can't get very far inside. Don't just go haplessly wandering about. These stones may look all the same, but to the trained eye, each is unique. Some of them are used to smith weapons and armor, and some unique stones provide special benefits. Some of them are extremely rare and should be used with great thrift. None of the differences are easily spotted, but I've learned quite a lot, really.
Interesting on that one. Basically, she gives you an idea of the smithing aspect with the different stones where you can imbue your weapon with, like, different elements.
Drang Lake. How is it that I ended up here? It's funny. I can't seem to remember.
Yeah, that's basically the curse of the undead apparently playing with the person, where they don't really remember how they got to Drang Lake and stuff like that, and even forget their main reason for being here, which is, like I said, interesting.
I've searched every nook and cranny here. I suppose it's time to move on. Perhaps we'll meet again, if we live that long.
Very cheery. Alright, so I've exhausted her dialogue at this point.
It's about time I moved shop.
Alright then. Well, that means that she'll move to, you guessed it, Majula. Ah! Covered in poison. Covered in poison. Alright, so I think we've done pretty much as we can here. I'm actually going to head back to Majula, because I think it's about time I restock, level up, and do whatever else I need to do at this point, because let's face it, I've pretty much gone through all of Huntsman's cops at this point. I don't believe there's anything else I'm missing at this point. So I can, you know, like, now I have to go through this area. Alright, so as you can see, she moved to Majula.
Oh, fancy meeting you here. Speak up if you need anything at all, alright?
Let me see if she has a new dialogue now.
These stones...
Oh, okay, she still has the same dialogue, unfortunately.
You know how they call this place Drang Lake, right?
Right.
Well, in the old lore, in stories and the like, they said it had another name. What was it? Well, I don't know. It's just something I heard. Since long, long ago, many kingdoms have risen and fallen on this very spot. Each like a great flame that turns to soot. Maybe that's why people don't remember much about the past.
That's an interesting way of looking at it, that because a location has changed so much within time, that people don't remember the past too much, because of the constant changing and such of the like. That's an interesting way of looking at things.
You see that blacksmith over there?
Yeah.
Is he one of those hollows? He seems to keep eyeing me up. He sort of looks like my father. He's a blacksmith too, you see. The poor man's such a worrywart. But he wouldn't follow me out here, would he?
That's actually something that is brought up. Remember, at one point, Lenegras says that he's, like, he is kind of worried for his daughter, who also tries to travel and stuff like that. Yeah, Chloanne is Lenegras' daughter. However, because Lenegras is hollowed at this point, Chloanne can't tell. Like, she can't tell that it's Lenegras. And that's one thing I hate about Dark Souls 2. It's like, there's no way for you to get them to realize, like, there's no way you can get Lenegras to tell Chloanne the truth, and there's no way for Chloanne to figure out that that's Lenegras. I don't know why they did that. It's like, they don't really have great quest lines in this game for other characters, and that bugs me in many ways.
I was born in a land to the west, Volgan, famous for its merchants. There were great, bustling cities. But for me, they were suffocating. And so I set out, in search of stones in faraway lands. There are dangers, for certain, but I much prefer to live this way. But for the life of me, I can't remember how I ended up here. It's as if I were drawn to the place, or lured in. Oh, I don't know.
And there we go with the Curse of Undead, basically playing with them. Alright, there's not much else I need to talk to this woman about.
Mind your manners.
Eh.
Oh,
Let me see if he has new dialogue that she's back.
how goes your journey? Take these. They should help a bit.
Oh, thank you. Well, not like I'm gonna use this, but oh, whatever. Thank you. Do you have any other dialogue?
Drat. You're worse than my reckless daughter. Don't spend your whole life in transit, you hear?
Alright.
Go.
Yeah, basically, that's just kind of the thing. This game really doesn't have too many characters with interesting quest lines, unlike Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1 at least have, like, interesting characters with interesting plot lines that at least, like, you can actually take part in. Like I said, like, I showed in my Dark Souls 1 playthrough. Like with, like the quest line with Sigmire and his daughter, the quest line with Salier, and other stuff of the like. It's like, those kind of quests are interesting to go through because you actually feel like you have some part in actually developing the quest, which is, in my mind, very interesting. Which is, like I said, something that I really miss in Dark Souls 2. It's something that I really do miss in Dark Souls 2. The idea that you actually play a role in these quest lines and stuff like that, to the point that you can actually influence characters and even, like, prevent them from going through certain fates. Like with Sigmar, back in Dark Souls 1, where you can actually save him instead of letting him sacrifice himself to help you. Or even Salier, where you could save him and you can actually have him fight with you during the final battle against Gwyn. That's just, I know, I'm complaining about Dark Souls 2 not having certain things that Dark Souls 1 has, but that's just the point of it all. Dark Souls 2 is not a bad game. I do like this game. I just feel like that it doesn't have some of the same elements as Dark Souls 1. But anyways, I've rambled on enough. I think this is going to be a video for now. So until next time, guys, I'm Keen947, aka Wolfkeen. Hope you enjoyed, and until next time, guys, bye, everybody.